Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sarah. On today's video, we are going to be learning how to draft and cut a 6-pieces skirt. If that's something you're interested in, come with me and let's get started. Also, do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thank you. This is the fabric I'm going to be using. I have some papers here for the mask that we're going to be doing. Here I have my pen and my marker, my chalk, my measuring tape, and my scissors. Now let's get into the video. What we're going to do here now is get what we have for the bust span and also what we have for the waist and hip circumference. So for the bust span, what I mean is your bust difference, we have 8. So we're going to go ahead now and see what we have for the circumference of the waist and the hip. Here our waist is 37 and we're going to do 37 divided by 2, which is 18.5. 18.5 is what we have as our waist circumference. Now we have to divide that into 2 so that it can fit both sides of the skirt. So we're going to do 18.5 minus our bust span, which is 8, and we have 10.5. When you get your 10.5, you're going to go ahead and divide that by 2 also, and you're going to get 5.25. Now this is for my measurement, right? And for this, I'm just going to go ahead now and add my sewing allowance to it. So I'm going to be using a 2-inch sewing allowance. So when you add that, you are going to get 7.25. I want you to use your own measurement, but with the same calculations that we did here. We're going to do the same math for us to get the circumference of our hip. So here we have our hip 47, and then we're going to do 47 divided by 2, and that will give us 23.5. Now we're going to do 23.5 minus our bust span, which is 8. That's all I wanna do. Then we're going to get 15.5. We'll do 15.5 divided by 2. And then we're going to get 7.75. 7.75 is our new hip radius, but we're going to go ahead and plus that with 2 to get 9.75. Now that is going to be our new hip radius. So if you don't understand this, you could go back and watch it over again. I'm sure you'll get it. Now that we're done doing that, we're going to go ahead and transfer onto the fabric. There's something I did not say that I should let you know. The wideness, the wideness of it at the length part is going to be 10. Now you can do 10, you can do 18, you can do 20. It depends on how voluminous you want it to be, but for this skirt we're going to be using 10. So what I'm doing here is going down from the top part of the fabric by 1.5 inch, because that's the band, that's the measurement for the band that I'm going to be using. And then from there I'm just going to go ahead and get what my length is supposed to be. Here I have 42 for the length, and I'm just going to go ahead to measure what I have for the wideness. If it is more than 10, which I intended to be, I'm just going to go ahead and adjust it till I have my perfect 10. Now that I have that, we're going to go ahead and come on here and mark the differences from your waist to your hip and from your hip to your knee. The difference from my waist to my hip is 8, and the difference from my hip to my knee is 18, like 10 if you go to measure it. So what I'm going to do here is just use my ruler to make all my lines visible, and then I'm going to go ahead and label so I know where and what I'm working with. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and impute all my measurements onto my fabric, and I'm going to start with what my bust span is, and mine is 8. I'm going to go ahead and divide that by 2, which is 4. I'm going to go ahead and also add 1 inch for sewing allowance, so we have 5 here. I'm marking 5 on the waist and on the hip side, and on the knee part I'm just going to go ahead and mark 4 because it's supposed to give that shapy effect and not make it look so free. But if you want to go ahead and mark 5 on the knee part, you can also do that depending on how free your client wants the skirt to be. The next thing I'm going to do is take my straight ruler and mark a straight line from where we have our knee right now to the edge of the fabric, and that will be it for the center front. And we're going to go ahead and cut.
Is thinking about you, not doing well. Don't know where you are, 'cause you're not here. It's been way too long.
Now that we're done cutting that, I'm going to go ahead and notch all the parts that need to be notched, and we're going to go ahead and also cut the center back using the center front. But I already went ahead here to fold my fabric. You want to fold your fabric in such a way that you have enough space on both parts. I cannot stretch this enough. You need to have enough space on both parts of the fabric that you folded. So on this part here, I'm going to be having a lot of allowance for my zipper, and on the other part I'm going to be having a lot of allowance for my butt rest. You'll understand as we go on. So here I'm just marking out the lines, like my hip line and my knee line, just to make sure that my measurements go where they're supposed to be. At the side here on the hip line, we're going to be going out by 1 inch. Now this is going to be depending on how big your butt is. You can go out by 1 inch, you can go out by half an inch if you're on a smaller side. If you're on a bigger side, you can do 1 inch or 1.5 inch, depending on how big the person's butt is. And then we're going to take that ruler and take you all the way from that point to the knee line, and we're also going to take you all the way from that point to the waistline to kind of make a curve. And this is going to help your butt sit perfectly and just remove any unnecessary tightness around your butt part. And then on the center here, we're going to go out on the hip line by 2 inches, and on the knee line we're going to do 1.5. On the waistline we're also going to do 1.5. And the reason why I'm doing this is just so I have enough space for my zip to sit on. And I'm going to go ahead here and use my hip curve to make a curve, after which I'm going to use my straight ruler to create a straight line from the knee line to meet the edge of the fabric.
There's not much to do when all I can is thinking about you, not doing well. Don't know where.
After which I'm going to go ahead and cut. Notice how I'm going to use the center front side to cut out the center back side. If you don't understand what I'm saying, please watch what I'm doing. I'm sure you'll understand very perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out now, and we would have the back, the center back and the center front already cut out. Now these are the most important things that you need to pay attention to. I'm going to go ahead and label the part where I want my zipper allowance to be zip, so that I don't miss it for any reason. If you don't do this, I feel you're going to mix everything up, and by the time you finally find out where the zip or where the hip part is going to be, it's going to take so long. So I feel labeling this would be much more easier. Now we're going to go ahead and cut out what we want for the sides, right? So we're going to fold our fabric into 4 and place our center front onto that same fabric. You want to make sure that you have enough space just in case you want more flare to be at the sides of it. Now I went ahead to mark out what I have for my hip line, my knee line, and also my waistline.
All I know, what I need.
I'm going to go ahead now and impute measurements. From the side front, we're going to go out by 1 inch on the hip line. And we're going to connect said dot actually, from that part to the knee part and then to the waist part, just so we can have that curve for your bum to sit perfectly. Remember that this is folded into 4 because there's something else we have to do. Now that we have that, I'm going to go ahead and trace out what I have for the side all the way and then mark out where my length line is supposed to be so I don't miss it whatsoever. Now we're going to remove our center front and then we're going to make our lines visible enough for us to see. The next thing we're going to do is make a line from our knee line to our waistline. And the reason why we're doing this is because for the front part on the center, you do not have a bum in front of you. Your bum goes all the way to the back. So we're going to eliminate that line by doing that. Now one side is for the front and one side is for the back. And now here is where our measurements come in. For the waistline, we're going to mark out our 7.25. You're going to go ahead and mark out whatever you got for yours on your waistline. Remember that we already added our sewing allowance to this when we were doing our multiplication and division, so there's that. Now on the hip line, you see where I'm starting from. On the hip line, we're going to go ahead and mark out our 9.75, and on the knee line, which is very important, we're going to do our hip measurement divided by 4. And for me, my hip measurement divided by 4 is 11.75. And we're going to do 11.75 minus 1.5, which is 10.25. Now we're going to do 10.25 plus 1 will give us 11.25. And that's what we're going to add on our knee line. And we're going to go ahead and use our curved ruler to connect all the points together. After which, we're going to go ahead and use our straight ruler to connect from the knee line all the way down to the edge of the fabric.
Even if you're gone, I will remember you.
And then we'll go ahead and cut.
And that ain't changing. If I could lay down beside you, I would. When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do.
Now we have the side front and the side back. I'm going to go ahead and label back and front. So here I'm marking out where the back is supposed to be, and after that I'm going to go ahead and cut out that line that we have for the front. I'm also going to go ahead and label both sides, the front, remove the back so you don't mistakenly cut it, and then go ahead and cut along that line that you made earlier. And there you have it, folks. You have the side back and the side front together. You see the difference between the both of them, right? That's what it's supposed to look like. Now let's see the fruit of our labor. These are the front pieces. This is side by side, and then we have the center, and this is what the front is going to be looking like. Let's see what the back is going to look like. So we have the back, the sides, and then we have where our zippers are supposed to be. On the back here, you notice that we have at least 4 pieces, and that's because one part is going to serve as where the zip is going to be. Of course, I said that earlier. So that will be it for this video. I'll be seeing you on the next video where I get to put this together. I hope you understood everything that went on in this video, from the division to the minusing to the plussing to the cutting to, to the adding and removing. I hope you understood everything that went on, and I hope you tried it out for yourself, and I hope your turns are wonderful. With that being said, y'all, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. Don't forget to love yourself, because I love you. Have a beautiful day or night, whichever it is you live for. Bye.
I hope that you were safe.